Right now, on millions of Windows 11 machines, the exact same thing is happening. The update notification appears, the cursor hovers over install, and then it quietly drifts to remind me later. No protest, no forum post, just a small private decision, repeated across more than 1 billion devices. If you've been doing this too, you're not paranoid, you're not behind on security best practices, and you're definitely not alone. You've noticed something a lot of professional reviewers are still tiptoeing around. There's a real reason this is happening in 2026, and it has very little to do with what Microsoft is telling you. I'll show you what's actually going on. To understand why people are refusing, you need to see what Microsoft has actually shipped in the first 4 months of 2026. Not the press release version, but the real version. Start with January. Microsoft pushed KB 5074109 out as a routine patch Tuesday update, the kind that's supposed to run quietly and patch a few vulnerabilities. Instead, it triggered black screens, frozen Outlook accounts, remote desktop disconnections, and on NVIDIA graphics cards specifically, frame rate drops, and screen flickering severe enough that NVIDIA's own forum admins eventually pointed back to the Microsoft update as the root cause. Some users found their machines wouldn't even boot afterward. Microsoft had to ship not 1 but 2 emergency out-of-band patches in the same month, the kind of patches you don't ship unless something has gone genuinely sideways. Windows latest, which has been tracking these incidents update by update, called it the worst opening month they'd ever logged. 2 months later, March arrived, and somehow it got worse. March 10 cumulative update, KB 5079473, broke Microsoft account assignments across Teams, OneDrive, and a list of other Microsoft-owned services. Read that sentence again. The Microsoft update broke the ability to sign into Microsoft software. The error message users got back, said you'll need the internet for this, on machines that were already online. Microsoft confirmed the issue, then released another out-of-band patch called KB 5085516 to fix the fix. 2 weeks later, on March 26th, they pushed KB 5079391, advertised in the release notes as a production quality reliability improvement. That update would not install. It threw a 008007372 error in a loop because the update files themselves were missing or corrupted. Microsoft pulled it, Tom's Hardware covered it under the headline, latest Windows 11 update is broken, refuses to install, which is one of those sentences that should not exist. Then came April. The April 2026 patch Tuesday landed with what Microsoft called a critical security release, including patches for an actively exploited SharePoint 0 day and over 160 vulnerabilities. So this one you really did need to install. It shipped with another wave of slow boot times, random freezes, blue screens during gaming, and driver compatibility issues. The signal across enthusiast communities and IT subreddits got loud enough that creators started telling people to wait it out, even though waiting meant sitting on an actively exploited blog. Think about the position that puts you in. Install and risk crashes. Don't install and stay exposed. This is the pattern, and it is now the pattern, not the exception. XDA developers ran a piece tracking every Windows 11 update that broke something this year, and the writer admitted that the conventional power user wisdom, wait at least a week before installing, has gone from a precaution to a survival rule. The list keeps growing. Localhost connections broken in October 2025. The File Explorer preview pane locked behind a false security warning. The Windows recovery environment temporarily unusable because keyboard and mouse input stopped responding inside it. Reset and recovery features broken on certain versions. The Windows firewall bug Microsoft initially claimed to have fixed, then quietly admitted hadn't been fixed at all. You're seeing the shape of this now. It's not one bad month. It's not one rogue engineer. It's a process producing the same kind of failure, predictable cadence, and the people who maintain Windows for a living have stopped trusting the pipeline. So translate that out of tech blog language and into your actual life. You sit down at your desk on a Tuesday morning. Your machine is updated overnight without asking. Outlook won't open. Your VPN can't connect. The mouse hangs every few minutes. You've got 2 hours before a meeting and a backup that's now also broken. That is what these updates have meant in 2026. Not in theory. In kitchens and home offices and small business backrooms every single month. And here's the part that should bother you most. Microsoft knows, they've admitted it publicly, which brings us to the real question. Why is this still happening? Here's the part that doesn't get said out loud. Windows updates stopped being just security patches a long time ago. In late January 2026, after the worst month of update failures Microsoft had logged in years, Colin Davila, the president of Windows and Devices, did something unusual. He publicly admitted Windows had a quality problem. He announced a process internally nicknamed swarming, where engineers from across the company would be pulled off feature work and redirected toward fixing the basics, file explorer performance, driver stability, Copilot said the feedback was clear and that improvements needed to be meaningful for people. Read between those lines. If you have to pull engineers off other work to fix the operating system, that means there were engineers working on something else when the operating system broke. That something else is the AI layer. Copilot. Recall. Click to do. The Copilot Plus PC marketing campaign Microsoft rolled out in February 2026, telling everyone this was the way to buy an AI computer. New taskbar buttons, the Copilot embedding in Notepad and File Explorer, the forced Microsoft account requirement on installation. Users have been pushing back on hard for 2 years now. None of that is free. Every one of those features needs engineering hours, telemetry pipelines, cloud integration, and update channel real estate to ship through. And every month it has been shipping through the same pipe that's also supposed to deliver your security patches. Picture a freight train where they keep adding cars. The train still has to leave the station every Patch Tuesday whether the cars are loaded properly or not. So things start falling off. That is what 2026 has looked like. The cargo that's been falling off the back is the boring, essential, non-glamorous quality assurance work, the regression testing, the driver validation, the slow, careful staged rollouts and operating systems serving over 1 billion users used to get. The AI cars themselves are not benign cargo. Recall, the feature that takes a snapshot of your screen every few seconds and stores it in a searchable database was first analyzed by security researcher Alex Haganah in 2024. He built a proof-of-concept tool called Total Recall, originally covered by Wired, that demonstrated the snapshots were sitting in an unencrypted SQLite database that any malware on the system could read. Microsoft has since rebuilt the security model around something called VBS enclaves. Haganah is back in 2026 with a new bypass. Signal, the encrypted messaging app, has shipped a feature called Screen Security on Windows that uses DRM techniques. The same techniques streaming services use to stop you screenshotting movies, to block recall from capturing Signal conversations. When an encrypted messaging app has to use anti-piracy technology to defend itself from your operating system, that is a sentence worth sitting with for a minute. Outside the OS itself, the trust picture isn't great either. Austria's Data Protection Authority ruled Microsoft illegally installed tracking cookies on school devices using Microsoft 365 Education. Microsoft complied with an FBI warrant by handing over BitLocker recovery keys for 3 laptops, which was technically possible because BitLocker keys default to being stored in the Microsoft cloud whenever you sign in with a Microsoft account. So when you put this all together, the broken updates, the forced AI features, the cloud by default architecture, the data collection nobody asked for, the engineering attention diverted away from quality and toward Copilot, the people refusing updates aren't being difficult. They're reading the room. They're treating Windows the way you treat a contractor who keeps showing up late with the wrong tools and wants you to pay extra for upgrades you didn't order. So what do you actually do about it? There are 4 paths, depending on what kind of user you are. None of them is wrong. They just have different trade-offs, and you should pick the one that matches your actual life, not what some YouTube comment section thinks you should pick. Path 1 is the simplest. Pause and triage. Windows 11 has a built-in pause updates option. Open Settings, go to Windows Update, and you'll see a drop-down that lets you defer updates for 1 week or several weeks at a time. The unwritten rule among IT professionals right now is the 7-day rule. When a Patch Tuesday update drops, pause it for at least a week. Watch the Windows Police help dashboard. Watch Windows Latest. Watch Bleeping Computer. By day 6, there are no out-of-band patches and no widely reported issues affecting hardware configuration. Install. If there are, extend the pause. The downside is honest. If a 0-day like the SharePoint flaw in April is in the patch, you're sitting on an open door for a few extra days. For most home users, the risk math still works out because the patches that go truly catastrophic in the first 72 hours are also the ones that tackle the root time of weaponized bugs. Cost, $0, 0 installation time. Best for people who basically like Windows and just want to stop being a beta tester. Path 2 goes a layer deeper. Selective control. If you're on Windows 11 Pro, you have access to jeepedit.msc, the group policy editor, which lets you defer feature updates and quality updates separately. Set deferral periods in days and choose your update channel. Pro users can also flag a connection as metered. Right-click your Wi-Fi or Ethernet in settings, mark the connection as metered, and Windows will treat it like a cellular hotspot and stop pushing non-critical updates automatically. It's an old workaround. Microsoft has gradually closed some of its loopholes, but it still works for delaying. Optional feature updates while wetting through the security ones. Combine that with a manual review of each Patch Tuesday, and you've got real control over what installs and when. Cost, $0, 15 minutes of runtime setup. Best for people who can read a release note without their eyes glazing over. Path 3 is for people who want to stay on Windows but stop bleeding data through it. Privacy hardening in place. Start with Recall. Copilot plus PC, recall is opt-in, but the underlying click-to-do components are not. Open settings, go to privacy and security, scroll to recall and snapshots, and disable it explicitly. Then move to Copilot itself. The visible icon you can hide from the taskbar settings, but the service keeps running underneath. To actually remove the embedding, you'll need to use Group Policy Editor under Computer Configuration, Administrative Templates, Windows Components, Windows Copilot, and turn it off there. For Home Edition users who don't have GPedit, the cleanest tool right now is O Shutup 10 O&O software, a free utility that exposes a few hundred privacy and telemetry settings in one interface. Run it, apply the recommended settings, restart. It also catches the settings Microsoft tends to silently re-enable after major feature updates, which is half the battle. Disclaimer here matters. None of this turns off Windows Defender or Smart Screen, which you should keep on, because the issue isn't security features, it's data collection features. Cost, $0, 20 to 30 minutes. Best for people who like Windows but don't want it watching anymore. Path 4 is the option you keep hearing about and probably keep dismissing, which is exactly what Microsoft is counting on. Switch to Linux. Specifically, Linux Mint or Fedora are the realistic landing pads for someone coming from Windows in 2026. Mint feels familiar. Taskbar at the bottom, start menu equivalent in the corner, file manager that works the way you expect. Fedora is a little more modern and a little more opinionated. Both can install on most hardware made in the last decade. Both run free, both update on a schedule you control. Steam runs on Linux now through a compatibility layer called Proton. And according to ProtonDB, the overwhelming majority of single-player games run at performance parity or better. Honest trade-offs. Certain Adobe products like Premiere Pro and the full Creative Cloud Suite still don't run natively. Some competitive multiplayer games with kernel-level anti-cheat are blocked outright. And if your work depends on a specific Windows-only piece of software you use every day, you'll need to verify it works in a virtual machine before you commit. Cost, $0, 2 to 4 hours for a clean install and basic setup. Best for people whose work doesn't lock them in and who are tired of renting their own computer. A few disclaimers across all 4 paths because honest is the whole point of this video. If you're on a managed enterprise device, your IT department controls update timing, you should not be running registry tweaks on it. Talk to them. If you depend on accessibility software, verify compatibility before changing anything. If you're a competitive gamer, anti-cheat is a real constraint and Linux may not be your move yet. And again, none of this is about disabling actual security. Defender on, Smart Screen on, BitLocker on. The recovery can be stored somewhere other than your Microsoft Cloud account if privacy matters to you. Print it. Keep it in a safe. Do whatever your threat model requires. The point is that you have options that aren't just rage quitting or surrendering. Step back from all of this for a second. What you're watching unfold isn't a normal product cycle. It's a slow renegotiation of who actually owns the machine in front of you. For the first 30 years of personal computing, when you bought a PC, you bought a tool. You owned it the way you own a kettle. You could open it, modify it, install what you liked, turn off if you didn't. That model is being quietly replaced. The new model is closer to a leased relationship. Microsoft owns the experience, you rent it, and the rent gets paid in attention, behavioral data, and AI training material. The updates that keep breaking things aren't a bug in that model. They're the model working as designed, with quality as the casualty. You don't have to accept that. People talk about 1 billion Windows 11 users like it's a Microsoft achievement. It's not. It's leverage. 1 billion users refusing AI features, pausing updates, and switching to Linux in even small percentages is a market signal loud enough to redirect a $1 trillion company. We've already seen it happen. Devil's swarming announcement only exists because the backlash got too loud to ignore. The backlash was you. People exactly like you, making small private decisions on millions of machines. So the next time the update notification pops up, and you find yourself hovering over, remind me later, know that you're not being difficult or paranoid or behind. You're doing what a careful adult does when a vendor stops being trustworthy. You're slowing down, you're checking, and you're choosing. That's not refusing security. That's exercising judgment. Your machine, your terms, your call. If you found this useful, drop a comment and tell me which of the 4 paths you're taking. Pause and triage, selective control, hardening in place, or the Linux jump. I rate everyone. And subscribe, because this story is moving fast. And there's another chapter coming the next time Patch Tuesday goes sideways. You'll be here when it does.